Alright, in the 1970s I was in elementary school and middle school, and I grew up in Pierre, South Dakota. And some of the music that I listened to during the 70s was Olivia Newton-John was a popular country singer. I also listened to the Bee Gees and the Village People when I got a little older. My favorite TV show was Happy Days with Fonzie. And I didn't really have a favorite movie because we didn't see movies very much. If we wanted to rent a movie on a video, that was something that was new and just coming out, and so nobody had VCRs in their homes. So you would go to the movie theater, and they had a few movies that you could pick to rent, but you also had to rent the machine, and so that was kind of a pain because it was this big, huge like briefcase, and it was heavy, and they'd rent you the whole machine, and you pick out a movie, and it was a pain because you'd have to get it all set up and plugged in, and my parents didn't know how to do it, and so we just didn't watch movies very often. I do remember some family vacations in the family station wagon, and it was just my brother and I, and there was no seatbelt laws during that time, so we had free reign over the entire station wagon. So there was a back part where there were these little side seats that would pop up, and we could be facing each other to the inside of the vehicle, or we could make them flat so we could lay there and wrestle and play and do whatever we wanted around the whole car. We also had an old Buick with a huge back window that we could lay back there, so we'd be driving down the road and we could just be laying in the back window and just never really thought about seat belts or any of the danger. Some of the ways we dressed in the 70s, I do remember wearing big wide bell-bottom pants, and when I was in elementary school I remember having fashion boots. They were like plastic boots that went up almost to my knees, and thought those were pretty cool. We also, later in the 70s, wore leg warmers. That kind of went with the Olivia Newton-John Let's Get Physical thing, where we had the headbands or sweatbands, whatever you want to call them, and had a lot of layers and wore leg warmers over the top of our sweats. And I wouldn't dress like that now, especially the leg warmers and the sweatband thing, but some of the styles are coming back, like the bell bottoms. Things that I used to do for entertainment as a child are a little different than today because we didn't have any of the electronics. I already mentioned we didn't have VCRs, so we wouldn't ever watch the same movie over and over. You watched a movie one time and you probably never saw it again. I do remember watching The Wonderful World of Disney, though, on Sunday nights, and that was followed by The Wild Kingdom. I can't think of the guy's name right now, but anyway. So Walt Disney World always had a movie on Sunday night, and that was a big deal. But back to the things I did. We would play Ring and Run, which I know people do that now. They have another name for it, or kick the can just out in the neighborhood streets at night. During the day, we would roller skate. My friend and I would roller skate all around the sidewalks of the neighborhood. And towards the end of the 70s, we did get one video game at Pizza Hut. It was a Pac-Man game. And of course you had to put your quarters in to play that, and I remember thinking that was a pretty cool game, and that's when video games were just coming out and you could only play them at restaurants. In the 70s was basketball. My school did not have volleyball for girls at that time, and in South Dakota basketball was played in the fall, and along with the boys playing football, the girls played basketball then, and then in the winter girls would do gymnastics, and in the spring they would do track, and then there was softball offered, but those were really the only sports offered for girls. I do remember also that when I was in elementary school, our school had a trampoline in the gym with no net around it, and people could just jump on it, and there were really no rules. I don't ever remember anyone getting hurt, no lawsuits, and I can't imagine that happening today. But those are my main memories of the 1970s.